Hello parents everywhere, it is Wednesday, and what that means for us here in the UK is that it is officially day 3 of homeschooling. Now I feel like I'm speaking to you now in our own homeschool staff room, and it's been great to get so many messages from people that have used these tips and bits of advice in whatever way, and it's made a difference to you. So I'm going to keep doing it, keep going, keep sticking to it, and I'll try and give you as many tips as I can over the next few days and weeks so that we're set up for however long we need to be doing this for. This is tip 5. If you are just joining this for the first time, go back and find the other 4 tips on whatever platform you're watching from. Now, today's tip, I'm going to be talking about something that I call going unplugged. And what I mean by that is not everything has to be done on a computer. And what we've certainly found over the last few days is that as a country, we may not have been set up digitally in terms of our infrastructure for the unprecedented high demands on the software that we're about to use. From a school point of view, and I've noticed this from as a parent, but also as a school leader, lots of the providers and services that we are using, whether it's subject-specific platforms or whole school platforms, just haven't had the infrastructure to cope with the demands that have been placed upon them. So lots of them have been crashing, they've been freezing. We know that, you know that, you've probably experienced that already. What I would say to that is be patient, but also when that happens, come off the computer. Let's go unplugged. And we can do lots of other things. For instance, some reading. And I'm going to talk to you about that now. One of the greatest things you can do to really kind of help your child succeed is to develop a love for reading with them. And hopefully they've probably got some books in their bedroom, in your house somewhere. Get them to actually say, okay, that's fine. Let's just do 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of silent reading. It's so important in today's climate. And the majority of the exams now at GCSE especially are written to a really a high level of literacy that if students aren't able to access the key vocabulary that's in there, then they're not going to be successful as students. So it's not just about knowing the content, it's also about knowing what's the question asking me to do, what's it asking me for, how am I going to express myself in this. And reading for pleasure is an amazing way to do that, and so easy. What it also allows is 2 things. It allows the student to have some really quiet time and some quiet focused time. And if your house is anything like mine, your kids are probably constantly listening or watching to things on their phones and their devices. So by actually taking that away, like we talked about yesterday, and getting them to sit down, open a book and enjoy reading, then that's one of the greatest gifts that you can give your children as a parent. Secondly, it also gives you a bit of quiet time as well. You know, to have that kind of really nice settled time where they're sitting there reading, takes the pressure off everyone, and it makes it a nice enjoyable time, which is what this is supposed to be. And also, don't worry too much about, yes, but I need to do that maths work now, and the school have said I need to do this. As schools, I can tell you that what we've tried to send home is a guide and a structure to help you as parents be able to have that little and often work going through the days and the weeks. We don't want students to be doing nothing for a long period of time, but equally, I don't imagine many schools across the country are going to be checking that you've done it every hour, what you're supposed to be done, and in their books and marking things. This is, us kind of saying, here's things you can do, here's things you can do to keep on with your education. If platforms aren't working, don't worry, don't stress, let's go unplugged, and there's so many things that you can do. On a great day like today, a lovely sunny day, the learning doesn't always have to take place, at a computer inside the house. They can sit in the garden, do things. They can go and read in a chair in the garden potentially. And it's about also spending some really, quality time as a family together and doing things together, because what we're going to find over the next few weeks and maybe even months is that social connection is going to be limited. So we don't just want students to be sat in front of a laptop 5-6 hours a day and not speaking to people. We want to be able to actually, with your family, with you as a parent and your children, enjoying this time together. And yes, trying to do something educationally, but thinking about, that real kind of social connection and how you can maybe even come together even tighter as a family unit. So the tip for today, do some reading and try and really kind of increase their stamina. What we might want to say is that you might want to build up to half an hour or an hour of silent reading a day, but don't go in at that level. Maybe just try, if it's not something that they've been used to, just 10 minutes of silent reading. then build it up to maybe 15 minutes in a couple of days' time, then take it to 20, then to half an hour. And then eventually, just like anything, just imagine if you were going to go to the gym, you will build up that stamina and resilience that you'll be able to read very easily for an hour and really enjoy it. And that's what we want. Reading for pleasure, reading for enjoyment, and not just reading because they think that it's something that they have to do. And, oh, do I have to do my reading now? We don't want to get to that point. Doesn't matter really what it is to start with. It may be something that they've got on their bookshelf. It may be a newspaper. It may be a magazine. If you haven't got any access to books to start with, there are lots of websites that are able to access free books and things now. I know that I saw something yesterday saying Audible are now doing free stories and free access to stories every day. David Walliams is doing a free audiobook every day. So there's lots of different ways to kind of access this and to be exposed to a higher level vocabulary. And to be able to increase your stamina as a reader. So give that a go. And what a great way to then kind of check their understanding after it, because it's all well and good just doing some reading. What a great thing to do is just when they finish reading, just tell me what you've read. Give me a summary of what you've done. And what that allows them to do is it allows them not just to skim read it and kind of glance at it and think, I don't know what I've done there. They have to understand it, they read it, they enjoy it, and then they can tell you what they've done. It means that in their mind, they're doing a little bit of recall and summarizing of what they've done, and they can tell you. So that's a great way of adding some value to that reading. At the end of it, you know what they've done, you can take an interest in it, and they can then actually summarize it in their own words, what they've read. So give it a go, keep going. I'll keep going with these tips all the time. And like I always say, we can do this.